many mics do we rip on the daily? Mini money, see me, see mini, mini, mini. Hey, how many mics do we rip on the daily? Mini money, say I see many, many, many. I get mad frustrated when I rhyme, thinking of all the kids that try to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, bad things rearrange, but it all stays the same. Like the love Doctor Strange, I'm tame like the rapper. Get red like a snapper when they do that. Got your whole block saying true that. If only they knew that. It was you who was irregular. Sold your soul for some secular music that's whack. Plus you use that. Loop over and over. Claiming that you got a new style. Your attempts are futile. Woo chow. You're puerile. Brainwaves are sterile. You can't create. You just wait to take my tape. Laced with malice. Hands get callous. From rapping microphones from here to Dallas. Go ask Alice if you don't believe me. I get in a vision like CB ascend something from the Ouija. sorry. Okay, my bad. Yeah, all that. I just felt a little L Boogie coming to my soul. If you guys are watching the Remix Morning Show this week on Black Power Media, we were very distressed by that Billboard Vibe magazine top 50 MCs of hip hop of all time. These fools had Lauryn Hill at number 30. I said, nigga, how? How? Can motherfuckers cannot count over there at Billboard and Vibe magazine? Are you niggas high? Is the opioid crisis hitting your building personally? What's going on? The audacity of these hoes. Hip hop, stand up. Gen X, stand the fuck up out here. They out here disrespecting our music. Anyway, that Billboard Vibe magazine top 50 MCs of all time of hip hop was another one of those examples. Tell me white folks was involved without telling me that white folks was involved. And that is going to be one of the themes of today's show. Because I've got a couple stories coming up for you guys where clearly the only logical outcome that can be deduced is that white folks was involved. Okay, white folks was involved. One of those happened today in Maryland, or over the past few days, I should say, in Maryland, where there was a fugitive on the loose. It was a manhunt. And this person is accused of shooting two police officers in Baltimore County. One of those cops is at shock trauma right now on life support. And the person who was the subject of the manhunt was miraculously taken into custody unharmed. Unharmed. Let me say that straight. Unharmed. Not a scratch on him. Can we guess the race? Can we guess the race? Can we guess the race of the people in America who were allowed to shoot at cops and shoot cops and still get apprehended and taken into custody shockingly alive? Okay. And the other story I want to talk about is tell me it's white folks without telling me it's white folks. Has to do with the story coming out of Newport News over the past 6 weeks now, maybe it's been a month and some change, where a 6-year-old brought a loaded gun to school and shot their teacher. And I've been watching the story for some weeks because I've been waiting for that shoe to drop. But every piece of evidence that has come out leads me to believe that this was a white child, by the level of protection that this child and their family have been receiving from the media, from the police, from a lot of places. I said, ooh, tell me this is white folks without telling me it's white folks. So we're going to get to that, y'all. Also, on a more serious note, on my agenda today has to do with all of these anti-trans bills that are moving through state houses, state legislatures across the country. Some of them are succeeding, some of them are not succeeding, but we all, regardless of our gender identity, regardless of your sexual orientation, we should be freaking the fuck out about this, guys, because there are targeted laws and legislation happening in so many states. It's almost hard to keep count, aimed at a specific group of people, aimed at a marginalized group of people. You guys, I've said this phrase many times before, but for the grace of God go I. And let us say that all for ourselves and to ourselves, because if we fall into that group, if you are trans or non-binary, this has got to be very scary times for you. And even if you're not trans or non-binary, and you are part of a marginalized group, you should be concerned, because the next set of laws they could be making could be coming for you. So we're going to get into that in just a bit. And one of these anti-trans bills has personally touched a member of the fire fam. So we're going to talk about that coming up in a bit. But hold on. Let me do a little check-in, little shout out here from my folks. Who do we have here? Valley Girls, I saw you in here. Hey, baby, peace. Carpe diem, what's going on? Hey, Wendy. Hey, Donnie. 40J Blaze, what's good? Love to see you in here, Chief. Who else? We got Holly. Holly's in here. Did I see Damien Stoner Loner? My niece Alicia is here. I'm very encouraged and happy. Shout out to my mom who is watching and Tasha, who might be still watching with my mom. Hello, Tasha. Thank you for all your help. Hey, Anna Hart, I've got the announcement coming up. Yep, thank you so much for that because we will be doing the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat this coming Monday. After I do my first break, I will make it a point to remind people. Thank you, Anna, for putting that in the chat. And if you guys want to participate in the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat, hit up Anna Hart directly. She has got all the deets for that. Alice, hey, baby, I'm happy to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Who was? Oh, it's Renee. It's Renee. What's up, Renee? Good to see you in here, sis. Love to see my folks in here checking in. Big up to my mods, to Latif and to Courtney and Chuck Diesel. I know Chuck Diesel will be in here all the time, but big up to Chuck Diesel anyway, because Chuck Diesel's Fire Fam forever. For life. What's up, Nat A? Good to see you in here, baby. Thank you guys so much for checking in. What's up, Steve Dubs? Come through, Steve. Imani is in the building. What's up, Imani? Y'all, don't forget to hit that like and the like. Subscribe and do all the good things. All right, y'all. Let me get to this first block because, in the wake of so much first of all, I can't even say in the wake of because what people of color, specifically Black people, brown folks, indigenous folks, what people in this country experience as it portends to police violence, police brutality, and police murder is a constant. It's not a wave. It doesn't flare up here and there. It gets more attention here and there, but it is a constant. It is a terror and a trauma that Black communities live with on an ongoing basis. Okay, when we see most recently what happened to Tyree Nichols in Memphis. And I mean, Jesus, I could seriously go down the list. Jesus, how come I can't remember that young man's? Is it Garnett Anderson? The young man in Los Angeles who was tased until he died by LAPD. I'm thinking of Amir Locke, who was asleep on a couch when the SWAT team burst in and shot him dead before he could even figure out what the fuck was going on. Dante Wright, shot by police officer as he attempted to leave the scene because he was pulled over for having some shit dangling from his rearview mirror or something else preposterous. Kamani Gray in Brooklyn, the teenager who was shot by NYPD 11 times. I mean, seriously, I could go down the list. Walter Scott, Rakia Boyd, Katherine Johnson. I mean, there's lots of Black people who were absolutely minding their fucking business, not doing anything illegal or wrong or threatening to police, not endangering the lives of police at all. And these people are no longer here. They were murdered as a result of white fear and Blacks wanting to be white. In the case of Tyree's alleged murderers there from the Memphis Police Department. But when I heard this story this morning on the local news, and before they even flashed a picture up, when they gave the details about what happened, but when they said that this person had been taken into custody, I said, oh, white. That's white. That is white. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. So do me a favor there, Will. We are going to check out a package from CBS Baltimore. And I love to do the packages because let me tell you something, y'all. Baltimore media, local media, including all of the local TV stations, including the Baltimore Sun, stenographers for the police. They will read those police press releases and quote the police spokesperson chapter and verse as though it were gospel. Okay. But there was a couple of revealing things. I'm actually going to play y'all two packages or one entire package and then an excerpt from a package. Because you know how sometimes if you're watching the news, you'll see some shit run that will include details that you'd be like, what? And then the subsequent running of that same news, or if you saw that at the 6 o'clock news and you looking at the 11 o'clock news, and then you look at the next morning's news, that one detail that made you frown your face up, that's not being included anymore. And you're like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. I knew I heard some shit. So this first package, again, is going to do a pretty decent job of surmising the facts, the quick facts. This is a 2-minute piece. And the only reason I chose this is because it's hitting the basics very quick and easy, right? Easily digestible for us all. But again, I want you just to listen to the way in which the reporter is delivering this. Because basically, we're going to be talking about this 24-year-old David Linthicum of Cockeysville, Maryland, Baltimore County, Maryland, and again, I watched several news broadcasts about this, and I'm still trying to put the facts together. I'm like, y'all are kind of not making sense here. There's the timeline is not exactly linear, but this does a decent job. So anyway, let me stop prefacing and just play it. So Will, let's check out this package from CBS Baltimore.
Well, relief is what I'm sure many people are feeling this morning. For hours, we were telling you authorities were on scene overnight into the early morning, trying to reach a peaceful solution with David Linthicum. And that's exactly what happened. Just before 6 this morning, officials say the nearly 3-day-long manhunt came to an end here in Harford County peacefully and successfully. Now, Baltimore County Police and the Harford County Sheriff's Office thanked federal and state partners with this multi-jurisdictional investigation, along with the community for their cooperation and patience. Let's walk you through what we know so far. So around 7 last night, Harford County Sheriff's deputies were helping Baltimore County Police in the ongoing search for Linthicum in Cockeysville, who's been wanted since Wednesday after allegedly shooting an officer responding to his home for a call of a man in crisis. After no sightings for days, last night a Baltimore County Police detective spotted Linthicum in the area of Powers Road and Warren Road and ordered everyone to shelter in place. That's when sources tell WJZ Linthicum shot the detective multiple times and took off with the car, leading officers on a 30-minute chase that ended in Harford County at the Falston Mall area. That's where officials believe an officer deployed spike strips to force his vehicle to a stop. He then ditched the car and went into the woods nearby, beginning an 8-hour standoff in Harford County.
Throughout the standoff, particularly as we were able to get a little closer to him, our deputies used multiple less lethal tactics to try to encourage him to surrender. As I said, he was hunkered down in the woods, and that made it difficult, but at a point in the closing hours, we were able to establish some communication with him. As morning approached, and at 5:43, members of our team were able to bring him safely into custody.
And Sheriff Gaylor says Linthicum was arrested with ammunition but no firearms in possession. So now they are just double checking the area to make sure that there's nothing left behind there. Now, while Linthicum is being examined by doctors out of abundance of caution, the sheriff says that he did not sustain any injuries during his arrest. Neither were any other additional officers or deputies in this. Now, he will be transferred to Baltimore County Police, where he is expected to face a number of charges. Meanwhile, Baltimore County and Harford County executives commended the work from law enforcement and are now saying that their thoughts and prayers are with the 2 injured Baltimore County officers. For now, reporting live in Harford County this morning, I'm Amy Kawada for WJZ.
They took him to the hospital out of an abundance of caution. This story, it's a little harder to follow than it should be. So let me see if I could try to put this together a little bit more clearly and succinctly. So on Wednesday, guys, today is Friday. This man was apprehended today. Wednesday, this began. Baltimore County Police were called to a home in Cockeysville for a disturbance, a man in crisis. I'm not clear. Police showed up, right? And somehow this nigga left. So like, what? Wait a minute. Wait. He showed up again, the police showed up to this house where this man allegedly was, David Linthicum, 24 years old. It reported, various reports say it was a barricade situation. And it was there that he shot a Baltimore County detective multiple times. Let me underscore here that the Baltimore County detective is in Maryland shock trauma. And for all y'all who are not from Maryland, let me be clear. Anytime you hear Marylanders talk about somebody up in fucking shock trauma, they are fucked up. Okay, they got taken to shock trauma. Nigga is fucked up. You are fucked up if you are in shock trauma. Okay, so this Baltimore police detective is not doing well. He was shot numerous times despite wearing a bulletproof vest. He got lit up. He is on life support. They had a doctor, one of the trauma surgeons from University of Maryland Shock Trauma, come out and do a press conference, and he said this guy is not a guarantee that he's going to survive. Okay, so let me be clear: this man, the alleged shooter, David Linthicum, fucked this cop up bad, okay, and allegedly shot another cop. So hold on. So I'm not clear, WJZ, and I watched all the other local media news outlets, and I'm still not clear. So he shot this Baltimore County detective numerous times, was able to apprehend, commandeer a police cruiser. They just kept saying that he stole a car. Well, whose car? Some reports say it was a police car. All the reports don't say that. Stole a police car, went about 30 minutes away. I say that's accurate, from Cockeysville, Maryland, up to Falston, Maryland. Let's say that's about 30 minutes. It's a different county. So that's why you heard Baltimore County and Harford County reported there as some of the responding law enforcement agencies. So this man shot two cops. Two. Dose. Le deux. Right? He shot two cops. And I want you guys to listen. We're going to play that next clip, Will, from CBS Baltimore, because I want you guys to listen. Now that you guys understand that he didn't shoot at two cops, he shot two cops. One cop is on life support right now. Okay? Right now. And I want you to listen to the way that the Harford County Sheriff's Deputy, in a longer excerpt that I found, described the tremendous care that they gave to David Linthicum. Listen to, I mean, it's giving me big Dylan Roof vibes. The person who shot up the Mother Emanuel Church down there in South Carolina, they took that motherfucker to Burger King afterwards. You know, he had a long day of killing niggas. He needed some replenishment. And this, what you're about to hear from the Harford County Sheriff, is giving me those kinds of vibrations. So let's take a listen to this longer clip. It's not a whole package. It's just a longer excerpt from that press conference from the Harford County Sheriff. Let's listen to that.
Injuries to the suspect, deputies or other officers, and the sheriff. That's a blessing, and I'm very pleased. Or any injuries or to any members of our Harford County community. The suspect was transported, was looked at medically by an ambulance on the scene, and has been transported to be observed, but has sustained no injuries as a result of his arrest. Local charges are being discussed, but right now, when he finishes his medical review, it's my understanding that Baltimore County Police will be taking custody of him. Obviously, they have much more serious charges than we have. The area around Falston Mall, where this incident occurred, is going to remain with a heavy police presence for the immediate future.
Big up Carpe Diem in the chat. Carpe Diem in all caps said Jaheim McMillan. Jaheim McMillan, the teenage boy in Gulfport, Mississippi, who was shot in the head by police there for seemingly no reason. The police claim that he had this, that, and the third, but they won't release no body camera. They won't release no evidence to back up their assertion. So we as the public can only assume Jaheim McMillan was murdered for nothing. But this guy, they made sure that he was good to go. They checked him out at the ambulance on the scene after they apprehended him, after they were aware why there was a manhunt for him in the first place. This man attempted to murder two police officers. And you're telling me that the subsequent officers who were searching for him were not in fear of their life? They weren't in fear of their life? A known, alleged, attempted cop killer? You weren't in fear for your life? But somehow all of these Black people who are stopped for traffic violations or who themselves call the police for help, for assistance, they end up dead because the cop feared for his life. Let us be clear. There is no reforming a system in which the use of force is not applied equally to all persons. It will never be applied equally to all persons via the lens of race in America because the American law enforcement apparatus is set up to shoot niggas. That's it. That's it. And I laugh to keep from crying because the shit is absolutely not funny. But when you deep it, and it's not you even have to deep it all that deep. It's very superficial. It's right there on the top. It's right there at the surface. American police are trained to kill black people. They are not trained to kill white people. They will not shoot and kill whites at the same rates for the same reasons that they shoot and kill black people. A white man can full off attack cops, put one of them in shock trauma. And they made it a point. And I'm not sure if this was conveyed very well in these packages that I picked. But when they caught up with him behind the mall in Hartford County, they negotiated with him for 8 hours. 8 hours. Come on, Dave. Dave, it's going to be okay, buddy. Come on out, Dave. It's going to be okay. Nobody's going to hurt you here, Dave. We just want to see you safe, Dave. We got the ambulance waiting for you, Dave, to come check you out, Dave. Just come on out, Dave. We know you shot 2 other cops, Dave. It's okay. You're white, Dave. You're safe here. You're among friends and family. David, you're fine. It's okay, David. Come on out. We're not going to hurt you, Dave. And guess what? They did not fucking hurt Dave. They did not hurt Dave. Dave is fine. The police officer, not so much. And it just infuriates me. You guys, this is one of those frequent reminders that non-white people who live in America see and we understand, and we all we could do is shake our heads because and try to get other whites to see this the same way. I don't think, well, actually that's not true. I know for a fact all white people, regardless of their political stripes, if they are radical on the left with us or even right-wing extremists, they know whether or not those, some may not want to admit it, but they get different treatment for the police. They know it. They know that's why some of the shit that white folks try, black folks would never fucking try. What was that was this just a couple of months ago, gang? Was that in Cincinnati, chat? Help me out. Where the white man went up into the FBI headquarters. It started out in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Cincinnati or was it Columbus? I think it was Cincinnati. The white man rode up into the FBI headquarters, bringing the fucking ruckus. And somehow the white man was able to get away. Isn't that funny how that worked? How the fuck they be getting away? As soon as a black person turned to run, they're shot in the back. But yet these white men will come in whole ass threaten federal agents and managed to get away. He got away. And the only he was on the highway. The only reason they ended up shooting and killing him is because he was big time shooting at them, not little time shooting at them feds big time. They had to kill him. But you could clearly see by the amount of shit that he was able to do and the distance he was able to get away from them, they clearly didn't want to shoot him. And all I can think about is the young man in Akron, Ohio. Again, my deepest apologies. It's not that I don't think that these names are important. These names are so important because of I would assume a bit of a trauma response to all of this violence targeted at my community. I'm not able to recall them all off the top at my head on demand. But the young guy in Akron, Ohio, who got out of his car and ran, and the police ended up shooting him 60 times. He was running away. I just want America, and I can't even say I wanted to acknowledge its hypocrisies and contradictions. It's well aware of them. I guess what I want America to do is don't ask me why I'm not patriotic, motherfucker. Don't ask me why I am not a fan of this country. Don't ask me why I don't pledge allegiance or how come I disrespect Joe Biden every chance that I get is because this country is rotten to the core. It will never live up to its stated principles of equality and justice and liberty for all. It will never do that. It was never founded to do that. It was founded to make sure that people like David Linthicum, that the system's not too hard on him. David had a bad day. And we get it. He was pissed. He only shot at the cops because he was angry. Something didn't go his way. And the whole of society is supposed to bend to straight white males, cisgender males, white males. Let me be specific here. White men, when they have these kinds of fatal outbursts, right? Everything is very understanding. Did you hear the level of compassion and understanding from the Harford County deputy? Nigga, we had to make sure he was all right. Let me, not me, but him as the spokesperson for law enforcement there, he wanted to absolutely convey the message that they did not harm this white man, despite the massive manhunt that they were looking for him for 3 days. Because again, he did what? Shot 2 police. That's right. One of them may not make it. So tell me he's white without telling me that he's white. Yes, yes. I got another one of those. I got another one. And this one might be a little slightly controversial because I am making an assertion for something I cannot currently prove. Okay. So I want to preface this next segment by saying that I do not know for a fact that what I'm about to assert is the truth, but all the evidence seems to point towards whiteness. It points towards whiteness. And as a Black person in America, I will explain how I know when shit is pointing towards whiteness. Again, sort of like we saw with the last story of David Linthicum, 24 years old in Baltimore County, accused of shooting shooting 2 Baltimore County police detectives, and he was apprehended without a scratch on him. A-okay, no problem with Dave. They've had a hard day. And the cops understood. That's why they didn't kill him. Right. Uh-huh. So this next story, though, has been well covered nationally. And the more details that come out, the more I'm like, yep. So we all remember, let's say about a month ago, in Newport News, Virginia, where a first grade teacher, was she a first grader? Was shot in school by one of her students. The student, 6 years of age, was reported to have gotten their hands on their parents' legally purchased firearms, brought the gun to school, and shot the teacher. Okay. And the more information that comes out about this child, I said, has to be white, Slim. Has to be. Not because he shot the teacher per se. No, 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 no. Because of the lack of action, the lack of discipline, the lack of calling the cops on a 6-year-old, that had this been a 6-year-old Black child, oh, the police would have been involved, which is why I think that this kid is white. And this is why I think that the kid is white and that the family and the child of the kid are being given all the protections that are befitting white people in America. It must be cool. What's that like? Even our John Brown Brigade, y'all can love it with us, man. What's that like? What's that like? Anyway, regardless. Okay, so pop up this, what the fuck is this, Will? Okay, pop up the ABC News piece if you could for me, Will. Believe it's an article. And the headline reads, 6-year-old who shot teacher had a history of violence, a history of violent behavior at school. The assistant principal failed to act, and we're going to get into some of that as well. This is an assertion from the lawyer of the teacher who was shot. Thankfully, this woman survived, which is really good news. So let me read from here. It says the teacher shot in class by her 6-year-old student in Newport News, Virginia, claims that the shooter had a history of violent behavior at school and accused the violence at school. Hold on. And accused the school's assistant principal of failing to act despite being told repeatedly that the student had a gun at school, her lawyers allege. In a letter notifying the school district their intent to file a lawsuit. The lawsuits are coming in here, guys. The lawsuit is one of three intent to file letters in a lawsuit sent to the school and the school district, and it was obtained by ABC News. Okay, scroll, scroll, scroll. This is where we get to the meat here. It says in the letter, a lawyer for Abigail Zwerner, who was a teacher who was shot, alleged that four teachers, including Ms. Zwerner and a guidance counselor, all warned the school's assistant principal Ebony Parker. Okay, we remember Ebony's name because I don't know no white ebonies. Okay, there's only one kind of ebony. It's the black ebony. Put the piece up, Will. How come I'm seeing myself? Put up the ABC News piece, please. I'm reading here. The school's assistant principal Ebony Parker, that they told the school's assistant principal, four people, Miss Warner, a guidance counselor, and two other teachers, told assistant principal Ebony Parker about the shooter's behavior on the day of the shooting. But Parker failed to act when she was first notified between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m. when Zorner was shot at 1:59 p.m. The timeline is important here also. Okay, we know how Miss Warner was injured. Yes, she was shot. But listen to this. So the letter also alleged that the shooter had a history of concerning behavior at Rich Neck Elementary School, which Ebony Parker, the assistant principal, was aware of. The student had allegedly been removed from the school a year prior after he choked his teacher until she couldn't breathe, according to the letter. Quote, this school year, the shooter was put on a modified schedule in the fall of 2022 and teachers, and that, hold on, Jesus Christ, hold on. At 2022, yes, after the school had started because he constantly cursed at the teachers and staff, and then one day took off his belt on the playground and chased kids trying to whip them, according to the letter. So, in addition to being a bully, allegedly, this child, it says that the shooter had also been suspended the day before the shooting because he, quote, slammed Miss Warner's cell phone, breaking it, and had cursed at the guidance counselor, according to the letter. Miss Warner also alleged that she told Ebony Parker that the student was, quote, in a violent mood and had already threatened to beat up a kindergartner on the day of the shooting. Ebony Parker resigned from her position on January 25th, according to a school spokesperson. Mind you, I don't know no white ebonies. Okay, let me be clear. So let's recap, because I believe all of this. I believe that Abigail Zwerner's lawyer is stating facts. I believe that Ms. Warner and probably other school staff had this child's behavior well documented, and this child was reported to been obviously having some behavioral issues and was allowed to have one of their parents sit in class with them all day as part of their behavior modification program. I don't fucking know. And on the day of the shooting, the day this child brought a gun to school, is the day that his parents were not in class with him. And I'm telling y'all, where should we begin? Hold on. Let's start at the very beginning, actually. If this would have been a 6-year-old black child, we may not know the child's identity, but I assure you there would be more of a discourse in that community about how to criminally charge a 6-year-old Or if didn't, if the conversation wasn't around charging the 6-year-old, the conversation definitely would have been around how to charge their parents. Because this is all kinds of shit, y'all. This is reckless endangerment. You know what I'm saying? This is child negligence. This is a rack of felonies if we want to keep it a biznuck, right? This is a bunch of felonies if we want to keep it a buck. And I assure you, had this been a black child with black parents or even one black parent, the community furor around personal responsibility and accountability and somebody needs to be held responsible, it would have been at a, such a loud level. And the fact that it's not tells me that this kid and his parents have got the complexion for the protection. I listen, I know how whiteness works. I know it when I see it. Even if I haven't seen it, because again, these parents, the parents of the 6-year-old shooter, and you can't even say alleged shooter. I was watching a clip on News Nation about the story, and Ashley Banfield, oh God, was like the alleged shooter, the alleged no, it's not alleged. The kid shot the teacher. Okay, this ain't alleged. It wouldn't possibly somebody else. Okay, the teacher was in the classroom. The teacher left with a bullet in her chest, and there was only one body's fucking kid who came to school that day with a gun in their pocket. It's not an alleged kind of scenario here. And I say that as a journalist. But anyway, Mama Lorraine, thank you so much for your support. Mama Lorraine sent us, says, a little love from us with thanks. Oh, thank you, Mama Lorraine. Thank you, Lorraine and Anna. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys. Did you guys win the Powerball? Say yes. Lie to me and say yes, hearts, so I can have a fantasy, so I can dream. Tell me this child is white without telling me he's white. The other aspect of it, the child's behavior leading up to the day of this shooting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You think they're gonna let 6-year-old Rashad come in there and cuss out the teachers? you think 6-year-old Rashad is gonna get a chance to go into class and take off his belt and fake like he beating other kids? You think 6-year-old Rashad? I don't know why I say Rashad because I guess I don't know no white children named Rashad. You think they gonna let 6-year-old Rashad come in there, choke an adult, a staff member, a member of the faculty with his belt, and let him come back to school? They would have called the police on 6-year-old Rashad right fucking then and there. And if you don't believe me, there are lots of videos, countless videos of police, of school resource officers when handling and trying to discipline black children, forcing them into some sort of physical compliance. They have slammed children on the ground. They have picked up grown, I'm not grown, pardon me, black little girls and body slammed them, manhandled them, cuffed them. Elementary age school black children will get that steel on their wrists, will get handcuffed in elementary school. The more that comes out about this story, the whiter the shit gets, okay? But we're not finished. Oh no, because it gets whiter. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. It gets whiter. It gets whiter. So clearly, the parents have not been charged with anything, right? I love how in the media they do want to. As how again, I know these are white people because they're trying to bias you with all this sympathy for the parents. Like, oh wait, no. The gun was legally purchased. Oh, oh. Woo! It's a good thing that gun was legally purchased because if it had been an illegally purchased gun, Miss Warner might have got one in the head instead of one in the chest. Whew! Lucky her, it was a legally purchased gun. Okay, everybody can relax now. Right. Legally purchased gun. The fact that the child had access to the gun is a crime. Okay. Somebody needs to be charged, and nobody has been fucking charged. But some people have been fired. Fired. Okay. And it would only make sense in America when a white child shoots their white teacher clearly black people must lose their jobs. Clearly, there has to be a Negro to blame here somewhere. And the Newport News School Board did exactly that. Well, let's play that package from the Today Show. Today Show.
This morning, the superintendent for Virginia's Newport News School District has lost his job, less than 3 weeks after one of his teachers was shot by her first grade student.
Effective February 1st, 2023, Dr. Parker will be relieved of his duties as superintendent of Newport News Public Schools.
This follows the resignation of the Rich Neck Elementary School assistant principal. An attorney for Abigail Werner, the teacher who was shot, says her client will file a lawsuit, saying the school ignored multiple warnings the day of the shooting that the 6-year-old had a gun.
What did administrators do? Did administrators call the police? No. Did administrators lock down the school? No. Did the administrators evacuate the building? No. Did they confront the student? No.
Zwerner's attorney laying out a timeline of the day. Just after 11 a.m., Zwerner herself told an administrator the first grader threatened to beat up another student.
They didn't remove the student from the classroom. The school administration failed to act.
At 12:30, according to the attorney, another teacher reported she searched the boy's book bag looking for a gun and believed he may have put it in his pocket and taken it outside to recess.
The administrator downplayed the report from the teacher and the possibility of a gun, saying, and I quote, "Well, he has little pockets."
Shortly after 1, Zwerner's attorney says a teacher reported that a student said the 6-year-old showed him the gun and threatened to use it. Finally, a 4th employee asked to search the boy, but was told to wait for the day to end. Zwerner was shot roughly an hour later, seriously wounded in her hand and chest, but still managed to escort about 20 students out of her class to safety. Earlier this month, the school superintendent did acknowledge at least one administrator was notified of a possible weapon.
A source close to the investigation tells NBC News that before she was shot, Zwerner texted a loved one that day and, quote, showed her frustration over the school's lack of response. NBC News has not seen the actual text message. As for the district, a representative for Newport News Schools says they cannot comment on the coming lawsuit at this time because the school division is investigating still.
Black man got fired. Black woman resigned. Nobody's been criminally charged. This has whiteness written all over it, dog. This is whiteness written all over it. Let me say this, and I mean this. I mean this, gang. If it comes out and this child name is Tashawn, Tashawn Jenkins, I will eat crow. I will eat my hat, whatever it is, the mea culpa. I will do it. If I'm wrong, I will come on here loud and proud, loud and strong, and say that I was wrong. I will say that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Oh, guys, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I've seen this movie so many times. And again, what have I said to y'all about when we're doing our little pseudo media studies and media critique here of the way that things are reported? Oftentimes, what is omitted is usually very telling. What they don't say is usually very telling. And I don't think that a Black family would have afforded this level of privacy, this level of consideration, this level of, this, because this is giving me big, this is a family matter kind of situation, right? And I can appreciate Abigail Zwerner's lawyer, trying to loud up the thing, right? She's like, hello, hello. Do you see this lovely blonde white lady? Somebody came and shot her. Does nobody care? Does nobody care? And I hate to say this, but Miss Warner might rank lower, seems to rank lower on the social hierarchy than this child, right? That's how I know this child is a white male. Because the concern about Miss Warner is secondary. They had to accommodate the child. Now, there's some things I kind of do want to further speculate, because again, this is just my intuition, not solely my intuition, but based on my experience and shit that I have observed over a period of time. I would imagine that the assistant principal, Miss Ebony, who was told that the child was carrying a gun or was believed to have had a gun. Now, hold on, before I say that, let me say this other little new got. Did you guys catch that? That basically the kid had the gun all fucking day. He had the gun. He didn't shoot Miss Warner until after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He had had that gun all fucking day. He had taken that gun in his pocket out to recess. To recess. Okay. I'm not even a parent, and that freaks me the fuck out. You feel me? Like I'm not even a parent out here, and I am freaked out that this very disturbed child, 6-year-old, who had presence of mind to bring a gun to school, to find his parents' gun, bring it to school, had the smarts enough to be able to conceal it from adults. They searched his backpack, and the little motherfucker was sharp enough to put the shit in his hoodie pocket so they couldn't frisk him. What? And again, the kid even knew he had the power of right privilege, because how the fuck did they just check his backpack and not check his person? And again, the racial dynamics and maybe even the gender dynamics here to me are not completely lost on me, because Miss Ebony, right, assistant principal, was notified about this specific child potentially being a danger to other students. She did not act in a timely manner. My guess is that Miss Ebony, assistant principal, did not want to deal with this child's parents. If the child is like this, what the fuck you think mom and dad is like, man? What you think mom and dad is like? Where do you think little Caleb learned how to whip other students? Somebody must be whipping Caleb's ass. Like, this sounds like a case where this child again is very emotionally disturbed, has very bad behavioral issues. Something is the matter here. Okay. And I feel like Miss Ebony did not want to deal with the parents. I'm sure if the child is like this, then the parents must be a fucking handful. And I'm sure Miss Ebony was like, God damn it. All right, man, I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna deal with it. Clearly, she didn't think it was that serious. She didn't think that the child actually had a gun, and shame on her for lack of imagination. Miss Ebony, you've been in this country a long time, okay? You can, I'm sorry. Even if they 6 years old, you cannot put nothing past white folks, okay? Write that down, everybody. put that in your reminders. Write a post-it to yourself on your refrigerator. Even the white people, put it on your refrigerator. You cannot put nothing past white folks, okay? At age 6 or age 96. That was our people's problem, African people's problem, indigenous people's problem. We lacked the imagination. When the Europeans came and knocking, looking for help, nigga, we didn't think that they was actually going to take it all. We didn't think they was going to try to genocide us all. We didn't think they was going to try to enslave us all. We cannot lack imagination when it comes to caucasity, everybody. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. So, like I said, I'm standing on this. I'm venturing out. And again, if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I will come on here and say I am dead ass fucking wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Watch whiteness work. And I see whiteness working right in front of us with the cases that we talked about. The first one and this one with the 6-year-old who is given all the protection, family given all the protection, and the 2 people who have been made to suffer the consequences for this action of what I believe is a white child, by extension through his white family, has been the black people. That doesn't get more on brand American than that. Oh, there's white on white violence. There's a black to be blamed here somewhere, and we will hold that black accountable for not doing more to prevent the destructive behaviors of the white on white violence. So there's that. Really quick, break time. Anna Hart is leading our disability support chat this coming Monday. I don't know what this coming Monday is. I don't know the date. Is it the 13th? I never know the dates. I gave up trying to keep up with dates and shit after COVID. Why? Time doesn't matter. time. That's so we off keeping track of time. We off that. That's old shit. So yes, this would be Monday, February 13th, 5 p.m. Eastern. For all of the members and the patrons, we will post that information for you either over the weekend or first thing Monday morning. So if you want to participate, please mark that on your calendar, the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat. Again, because we care about disabled people here in this community. I am disabled people. I am disabled people. These chats help me personally and through a number of, communications from people that have been attending over the past several months. And oh my gosh, this has been going on for a bit now. These chats have been beneficial to folks. Okay. So if you're dealing with a chronic illness or disability, or are you a caregiver, you have people adjacent to you in your sphere who are dealing with a disability, please. And this is open to everybody, not just open to members and patrons, by the way. The reason I don't put the information out for everybody, because again, we talk about sensitive health information. I don't think that's a open, I don't think anybody should be able to just click on a link and get there. I think you need to ask either Anna or ask myself, and we will gift you the information, and then you can come and join us and listen and participate if you feel up to it. So again, that is this Monday, February 13th, 5 p.m. YouTube members and channel patrons, be looking for that information over the weekend or on Monday. Also, Willard, do you have Arizona abortion fund? Who's it? For the month of February, we are supporting the Arizona abortion fund because the conservatives are determined to make you bitches have babies. And yeah, I guess for the next, I don't fucking know how long before I really hit menopause, but I guess for the time being, I too am bitches. But I live in an abortion friendly state, so I don't worry about not having access to abortion. But because in America, women don't have rights. Women are second class citizens. Don't you hoes ever forget that. So everybody does not have the same access to health care, reproductive services, and most importantly, abortion. So we are supporting the Arizona Abortion Fund this month. Thank you, Valley Girls, for informing us that the laws in Arizona only legally allow abortion up to 15 weeks, but I'm fairly certain that there are efforts by conservatives in that state to either bring that all the way down to 6 weeks or even more strict than that. So we want to make sure that women and people who can get pregnant have access to these services. We, as a channel, will be supporting the Arizona Abortion Fund for $50. We ask our fire fam and our good people to match us at least $5. So if you click on the chat box at the top of the chat in our link tree, we have included a link directly to the Arizona Abortion Fund. Preferably, if y'all could run that money directly to them, that would be smashing. However, if if you just want to send the money here and earmark it, and let me underscore earmark, you must say this is for the abortion fund, Kim. We will include it in the amount that we send to the Arizona Abortion Fund at the end of the month. Hold on. Thank you so much for that. Carpe diem. I need you to get out of my head, sir. Carpe Diem just ran us a super chat. Thank you so much. Carpe Diem said the Linthicums are old Maryland family, old money. Carpe Diem. I thank you for sharing that. I did not know that for a fact, but there is a town in Maryland in Anne Arundel County. Is that Anne Arundel? That is Anne Arundel County, right? Right there. It's called Linthicum. It's called Linthicum. And when I saw the man, 24-year-old David Linthicum, alleged to have shot two Baltimore County police detectives, I said, I do not know anyone with a last name of Linthicum. I know the town of Linthicum. So what you're saying makes sense there, Carpe Diem, and I'd be lying if I said that didn't cross my mind, but it did. David Linthicum. I wonder who his granddaddy is. Somebody rich, white, and important, I'm sure. I'm sure David. Oh shit! Hold up, Carpe. That really just registered in my head. Maybe that's why the police were so gentle with him. Yeah. Oh, because he's a somebody. He's not just a white man. No, he's a somebodied white man. Ooh, they might be apologizing to him. Mr. Linthicum, we're so sorry that you were treated this way. Oh my God, what if the Baltimore County detectives that got shot, what if they're black? And the cops don't give a shit. Oh, I'm gonna be watching the story, y'all. We go continue to watch whiteness work, nigga, because whiteness be working overtime like the devil. Just like the devil. Whiteness does not rest. Woo, shit, not in America. Mm-mm. Crazy. And I'm sorry, you guys. I know we have white viewers here. Y'all know I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all know I'm not talking about y'all. I feel I not all the way bad. Sometimes I do feel bad because I'm like, God damn it. I know we have so many good, wonderful white folks that support this channel. And I know when I just go on long tangents complaining about the whites, I'm like, I hope they understand. I hope they understand. But I'm not talking about y'all, man. I'm talking about these wayward fucking racist ass whites now. I'm not talking about my people. What's up, James? All right, guys. In less funny news, I wanted to get into this, and I'm gonna try to run through this a little quick because it's actually a little weighty. Okay. So there are more anti-trans laws that are going on the books. And this is bad. Okay. Why is this bad, Kim? It's bad because when we have whole elected bodies, branches of government that are crafting laws targeting a specific group of people to limit their rights or limit their access to anything, okay? We're really going down a slippery slope. And I don't want to know what groups will be next to be targeted after all the trans people's existence is legislated out of being legal. Okay, this is very scary. It really is. So throughout the country, and I'm only going to go through a few of these because it's pretty crazy. And I'm kind of going to go through these a little quick. So if you could pop up the tweet from the Virginia ACLU. This has been a not good week for trans stuff going through state legislatures. Okay. In the state of Virginia, this tweet that we're going to see from the ACLU, it says, "This is not over. While the Virginia House passed anti-trans sports ban HB 387 today, that was this week, these lawmakers don't get to have the final say on trans youth. Trans youth belong in sports. We will need all of your help to stop this harmful discriminatory bill in the Virginia Senate." What are they talking about here? So, in Virginia, there were two trans bills that were passed by the Virginia House of Delegates, okay? That one that we just heard there about banning trans athletes from participating and playing in school sports that match their gender identity. So, if you have a trans girl who wants to play girl sports because they were assigned male at birth, usually, they, being the Virginia House of Delegates, has voted that that particular child would have to play on a boys' team. Okay. The other anti trans bill that passed the Virginia House of Delegates, this is going to be HB 2432, which requires school staff to out their trans child to their parents. Pop up that next one there, Will. South Dakota. Oh, wait, backing up about the Virginia thing real quick. So neither of those bills are expected to pass the Senate. The Democrats in the Virginia State Senate hold a very slim majority. But let's be very clear here. If that slim majority is not able to block the passage of the one bill, well, they both passed the House, but regardless, it's if the Virginia Senate's not able to block these bills, which I hope they will, and they land on Northam's desk, Governor Northam, Ralph Northam, they ran on wait. It's Northam, right? Will, God damn it. I just had a brain fart. It's Northam. Or was he the Klan? Well, they were both Klan. I'm sorry. What's the name of the Virginia governor? Will don't fucking know. Jesus Christ.
Hold on, I'm about to check.
Ain't you from Virginia?
Yeah, but
Oh,
I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Nigga, what kind of backup resources you supposed to know, bait? You supposed to have that shit. It's Northam, right? Jesus, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
No. I need you to know.
Rock.
Do you
Okay.
know? I'm sorry. My bad, Will. I know I have not informed you of this before now, but I will periodically call on you to fact check me from time to time just to make sure I'm not just up here and talking about and Doug Wilder said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Doug Wilder is not the governor, but again, I mean, and this is gonna sound rude and fucked up, but so be it. I mean, I get all these crackers confused, okay? I get them all confused. I get them confused. So, Will, please, who am I talking about? Because even the Democratic governor was a fucking cracker. Lest we not forget Governor Clan Hood and or Governor Blackface. So I don't think I'm out of pocket by calling the former Democratic governor of Virginia a cracker and the current Republican governor of Virginia a cracker. Because Jesus Christ. Well, fuck it. The current cracker who's the governor right now, he's a conservative. If the shit lands on his desk, he's going to sign the shit into law. Into law. All right, well, fuck all that shit now. We going on to new shit. Let's go. But hit me up with the South Dakota piece if you could. South Dakota's governor, their Senate passed out of committee the bill that will limit gender affirming care, despite opposition from doctors. That has passed out of the South Dakota state, but something else also passed out of South Dakota. What was it? Is this Mississippi? I'm sorry, guys. Again, with so much literally falling down everywhere, these laws are innumerable, or these bills, these potential laws. South Dakota governor signed 2022's first anti-trans athlete ban into law, but that was 2022. But out of the Senate, now they want to start to try to restrict gender affirming care for trans students. Also, pop up that Mississippi Today piece for me if you could, Will, because what is happening in Mississippi, which is the same that is happening in South Dakota, they are trying to block gender affirming care for trans students. Listen to this. So this is coming out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. As the owners of the only clinic in Mississippi that exclusively provides gender affirming care to trans people, nurse practitioners Stacy and Lee Pace get a lot of hate mail, but more frequently, they are emailed from trans kids who write to the clinic just to say, "I'm so glad that you exist." Stacy always writes back, quote, "That's really sweet of you," she'll say. "Keep living. You're so brave." In 2021, the same year that lawmakers banned trans athletes from competing on teams that match their gender identity, the Paces started accepting a handful of trans teenagers, 16 and 17-year-olds, as patients. Today, Spectrum, the other clinic, which is the Blue House on a busy street, is likely the only place in the state that is still writing prescriptions for trans kids, but they may not be able to keep that up for much longer. If the legislative session proceeds as expected, this year, Mississippi lawmakers have filed more than 30 bills aimed at curtailing the rights of LGBTQ plus Mississippians. Following behind Alabama and Arkansas, lawmakers fast-tracked one bill in particular, which is House Bill 1125, the Regulate Experimental Adolescent Procedures, or the REAP Act. If passed, it will immediately ban evidence-based, quote, gender transitional procedures like puberty blockers and hormones for trans folks, for trans minors, as well as surgery, even though lawmakers could not name a single instance of that happening in Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves has indicated that he will sign the bill, calling it, quote, a step to preserve the innocence of our children. Once in effect, providers who communicate to prescribe hormones of puberty blockers to trans kids would lose their licenses. The bill permits lawmakers, yes, the bill permits civil lawmakers against anyone who, quote, who knowingly aids or abets the performance of adolescent gender transitioning procedures to minors up to 30 years. To minimize liability, the PACEs think that they would not only be forced to stop providing care to trans kids the day the bill is signed, that they'd also have to cut off contact entirely, pushing Spectrum, which is a beacon of hope for their patients, further out of reach. So we are at Virginia, South Dakota, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. I want us to take a look at what happened this week in Kentucky. Because, and this is the part of this that lands a little close to the fire fam, because you guys know, I think you know, but our own Molly Shaw is from Kentucky. And Molly no longer lives stateside, but when she did live stateside, Molly was a bit of a badass. I mean, let me rephrase. Molly still is a badass, okay? Molly is a badass journalist, and she does what she does here for the channel. But before Molly made her exit across the pond, Molly was rabble rousing out here in Kentucky. Long story short, at a Trump rally in very early in the first presidential campaign, Trump had a rally in, I can't remember if it was Louisville specifically, but it was somewhere in Kentucky. And Molly, with some other anti-racist radical whites, showed up. They were assaulted by Matthew Heimbach. Molly has written a lot about Matthew Heimbach. Matthew Heimbach is a Maryland star. He was a Maryland white power soldier who has, popped up in a myriad of different places. But there is very famous video of a Black woman being pushed around forcibly by Heimbach and other Trump MAGA whites. Anyway, Molly was there, and Molly ended up being a plaintiff trying to sue Donald Trump. And you guys can holler at Molly on Twitter and ask her how that went. At Molly O. Shaw, SHAH. Because I can't remember what the outcome was. And I think I've actually interviewed Molly on here about that. And I still can't remember what the outcome was. But regardless, Molly sued Trump along with a teenage trans boy at the time. His name was Henry. And Henry recently took their life. I believe back in December. Henry was a trans man whom, by all accounts, the way Molly described to me, grew up in a very supportive and nurturing home. Their gender transition was supported by their family. And Henry's mom happened to be in the Kentucky State Legislature. And what happened this week in the Kentucky State Legislature is that they were trying to pass a number of anti-trans laws. But I want us to hear, actually, no, first, I want us to pop up that picture. If we could, Will, the tweet that indicates that it is a photo. That says video. Jesus, how did I write that? Yeah, let's pick up the picture, because her name is Karen, Senator Karen, making her colleagues look at her in the eyes as they vote for the legislation exposing trans children. Senator Karen Berg, lost her son to suicide just months ago. And that is the picture there of Kentucky State Senator Karen Berg staring at her colleagues in the Kentucky State Legislature, as this was, I believe, a committee vote. Because we know how a lot of this fuckery starts in committee. So they were trying to, here we go. So there's three parts to this bill. So you can either, I think you can keep that up. So yeah, keep that picture up for a moment here, Will. This reporting is coming from Carolina Buzek of Lexington's 18 News. A Carolina reports that the bill's opponents call Kentucky's version of a "Don't Say Gay" slash trans bill. It's being heard in the Senate Educational Committee. SB 150 would ban the Department of Education from recommending policies or procedures for the use of pronouns that do not conform to a student's biological sex. The bill has three parts. Number one, schools must notify parents when students access physical or mental health services. Number two, the Department of Education and the school district cannot require nor recommend the use of pronouns that do not conform to a student's biological sex. Number three, sex education must be developmentally appropriate. Parents must be notified of sex ed 2 weeks prior. Parents must be allowed to see the curriculum and be allowed to opt their kid out. This bill, I believe, passed out of this particular education committee. In fact, it did. Will, do I have another tweet there that says a picture? I'm sorry. There's another picture because who is this? Equality Kentucky? Do I have that right? The Fairness Campaign at Fairness Camp is putting out the call for Kentuckians to call their state senator now and tell them to vote against this. I think I put it up there, didn't I, Will?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Right.
Okay. So they're asking, it says Kentucky, well, activists are calling this the Kentucky Erase Trans Kid Bill. It passes the committee. Jesus Christ. It passed the fucking committee 11-1. 11-1. And they are encouraging Kentuckians to call and vote. To call and urge your senator to don't vote for this shit. They expect that the Senate could vote on this as early as Monday, February the 13th. And if we don't have the number up, I can tell it to you. The number is 1-800-372-7181. The Fairness Campaign is asking that you leave a message and say, quote, "Please tell my senator and Senate leadership to oppose SB 150. You're not gonna put it up, Will. You're just not gonna put it up. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I just want you guys to be aware of these things and the speed at which all of this is happening. And even if some are like, well, Kim, all of these things are not going to pass this session, but have we not learned any lessons from the anti-abortion movement, y'all? They take them losses in stride, dog. They take them L's and keep right on organizing, keep right on showing up at the abortion clinics. They still showing up at fucking abortion clinics out here. And to think that they're going to take their foot off the gas regarding the issue of trans children and trans people, by extension even existing, no, they're going to accelerate this. If we think that these are extremist laws and bills now, they're going to do worse things than this. In Ohio, guys, this is already the law, if I'm not mistaken. In Ohio, if a parent or any fucking body who's decided to show up at the soccer game has questions about a child's gender, if I think that that girl out there is a quote unquote boy, then I can challenge it. I can ask the coach to go check the child's genitals. Like, the shit that they are willing to expose trans children to shows us, number one, first and foremostly, they don't give a fuck about kids. They don't give a fuck about children's development. I actually want us to hear from a child because in Missouri, oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I want us to hear really quick from Senator Karen Berg. whose son Henry, like I said, Henry took their life. They were transgender. They died by suicide back in December. And as the Kentucky State Senate legislative, not the legislative, the Special Education Committee took up this vote, Karen Berg, as we saw there in the picture, stood there and stared her colleagues down, but she did give a brief comment to reporters outside of the room after the vote had taken place. So let's take a listen to that.
Important for you to be in there when they took that vote?
I needed to be in the room for the vote because I needed to stand there and require, and I got in the room late, but I wanted to require each and every one of them to take that vote with me in the room, just like they did in 2015 with my child in the room. I needed to know that they knew that I was standing there.
And we want to continue to send our condolences and well wishes to State Senator Berg for the loss of Henry. Molly knew Henry. Molly was acquainted with Henry. Henry was only 24 when they died by suicide back in December. Molly requested actually that I talk about this and to acknowledge Henry's passing and what Karen Berg is there trying to fight against there in Kentucky. But truly, this is a national fight for all of us. Like what they are doing to trans people and gay people today, they will do to you and me tomorrow. You know, that is why this is important. That's why this is not about what anybody agrees with lifestyle. I think boys should be playing with boys and girls should be. I don't think boys should be allowed to play girl sports. Man, I need y'all to cut it. Not y'all specifically, but I need people who have those opinions and say those things a lot. I need y'all to cut it the fuck out, man. It's just seriously cut it the fuck out. It is not a long line of trans girls that are lying in wait to take athletic scholarships away from girls who were assigned female at birth and who identify as female. That's not a thing. If there are trans collegiate athletes, I assure you they are the minority of the minority. And even if you allow trans children to compete, which they should be allowed to compete, because at the end of the day, they're fucking kids. These are kids sports, aren't they not? Sure, we could say it's girls basketball, boys basketball, whatever. At the end of the day, it's kids, fucking kids, kids want to play. That's it. Let the kids play. And I think there is a child, actually, I do have a clip here because again, in Missouri, there is another such bill making its way through the state legislature pertaining to trans children playing public school sports. And I want us to take a listen from a kid who actually took the time and went up to Jeff City and gave a testimony. And the person who posted this, I believe, is Rabbi David Bogard. And the tweet reads, before we get into it, it says, I am incredibly proud and heartsick to hear my 11-year-old stand up for his brother and friends before the bigots and the bullies who control the Missouri State, who control the Missouri Senate. #protect trans kids. So in the Missouri Senate, they were accepting public commentary and public testimony, and this 11-year-old stood up to speak on behalf of their family and their friends. And listen to how poignant this child is when describing what the harms of this bill potentially will be on their loved ones.
Hi, my name is, and I'm here today because I have a trans brother and a trans friend. And I have to be here because you, the Missouri government, keeps trying to take away what they have a passion for. Why do you keep trying to take things from these kids? Kids just want to have fun playing sports and not wasting time being stressed and coming here to tell you to let them play. It's been years that you have been trying to take things away from people that I love who are just little kids. They're not competing for a scholarship or a job, or most of the time they're not even in the tournament. They're just trying to have fun, which they can't do since they're trying to pass these bills. This has affected my brother because now he gets scared that he will not be able to do what he loves. It's affecting my dad because now he goes here every other week to sit for hours to say a small speech that might not even mean anything to you. It's affecting me because I love living here in Missouri, and I'm scared that I might have to move away from my family and friends because of these bills. My family and my friends are just trying to live their lives in peace in Missouri, and you are hurting us and scaring us. So please vote no on Senate Bill 2, 29, 39, 48, 87, 165, and all other bills that are targeting trans kids. Thank you for your time.
God damn, did you hear that long list of bills that kid just ran down? And this is in a lot of states, everybody. I don't know what the fight for trans equality looks like in other places. I don't know what it looks like in Europe. I don't know what it looks like in Africa. But I know what I'm seeing here in the United States is extremely troubling. And again, I feel really strongly about this, even though this is a community I'm not part of, because I can see this going out concentrically. Like you start with the trans, then you extend it out to LGBTQ, then you extend it out to disabled, then you extend it out to unpartnered, or I mean, the levels of absurdity here can quickly grow exponentially. And look at who is advancing these bills, these white Christo fascists. I'm not saying there aren't black people that support these bills that are in elected office. I haven't seen any. That don't mean that they're not there. But every fucking time I see one of these bills being introduced, supported, and you see who the bill sponsor is, it is always Mr. Little Dick Energy. You know what I mean? It's always Mr. Little Dick Energy. Worried about what somebody else's genitals is doing or not doing, or if they are placed where they think that they should be placed. It's like you guys really spend a lot of time thinking about children's genitals, and you all really need to reconsider the ways and the directions in which you put your energy. This is indoctrination, okay? Telling children that there's only two ways to be. You can only either be boy or girl. And when you think about how limiting that is, and trust me, I'm not some super radical gender studies. I didn't. You all can very clearly tell. I did not take any gender studies in school or anything like that. Like I'm not that well versed on it. But seriously, just as a person, as a human, as a person who occupies multiple marginalized communities, I look at the trans community and I'm like, I don't understand. There's nothing that these people are doing that should be offensive to anybody. All I see trans people do is mind in their fucking business. Truly, even when they come into community with themselves in the drag shows or however they fellowship, again, I don't see harm, I see expression. And I don't find any issue with the expression. And trans women expressing femininity does not diminish my worth or value or existence as a woman. I mean, shit, I tell trans women, listen, if you want these period cramps, they are yours. You are welcome to them. How can I FedEx you these menstrual cycles? I will gladly give you these menstrual cycles to the trans women. If they want them, you can have them, baby. Their existence does not make me less of a woman at all. The existence of trans men should not emasculate men who were born men at all. And it's just people who want to further subjugate others, who really get off on the oppressing and discriminating against groups that they view as lesser. Looking at these middle-aged fucking little dick energy state legislators, all I can think about, I'm like, wow, you guys are trying to experience the same highs and euphoria of discrimination, of putting the law uh, to back up your discrimination like your grandparents did when they was freaking out over school integration, when when white folks really thought the earth was going to come to a stop, a standstill if a black child sat next to a white child in a public school. Like it is the same characters, everybody, just a new generation, the updated version of the segregationists, of the worst of the absolute worst, and they are turning it on trans children. And of course, these will all be felt more harshly by black trans children and brown trans children. But at the end of the day, this is a life or death issue, because here's what actually happens when these trans kids are not able to express their gender identity as they feel them. Okay, when they are not allowed to be literally who they are on the inside, if they are not allowed to be that on the outside, their rates of suicide go up tremendously. Okay, these bills undoubtedly will kill kids. They will kill kids. These kids are already experiencing, I won't say turmoil per se, because they know who they are. And depending on what their home situation is, whether or not they get support for those feelings, can obviously influence whether or not a child decides to take their own life. But the statistics simply say that when kids do not get to express their gender identity, when they do not get gender affirming care in the form of puberty blockers or hormones or even eventually surgery, it can have very negative outcomes for their lives and for their happiness. And that should be important to us. Don't we want all kids to be happy? Don't we want all kids to be free, to be able to express themselves? It is not an indication of the erosion of society if trans people are allowed to have rights and allowed to be themselves. Okay, but it is an erosion on society when we are allegedly living in a free society where the marketplace of ideas and blah, 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 all this bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. If you are not adhering to the norm, if you are not conforming to the white patriarchal concept of cisgender heteronormativeness, they're trying to criminalize your existence. They're trying to criminalize you for even being alive. And we're seeing that in different ways. We'll pop up that Orlando Sentinel piece at the end of the doc, and I'm gonna take y'all out on this because we all know what Ron DeSantis has done, right? Ron DeSantis has passed "Don't Say Gay" in Florida. He also, I believe, took away the healthcare access for trans people, but they've even taken it a tad bit further. So the state of Florida has moved to revoke an Orlando Plaza Live's liquor license following a drag queen show. This was from February the 3rd. Okay. So not only is the state restricting and taking away rights at the executive level, Ron Fascist is using the power of his office, the power of the state, to target venues that host drag shows and targeting them punitively. Okay. The Plaza Live, which is an Orlando event venue that came under fire and came under state scrutiny for hosting an all age drag queen performance in December, could lose its liquor license, its ability to sell alcohol, according to a complaint filed Friday by the Florida Department of Businesses and Professional Regulation. Sorry, let me make this a little bigger. Boop. It says that the agency claimed that the Orlando Philharmonic Plaza Foundation, which oversees this particular venue, had a responsibility to make sure that no minors were in attendance at the December 28th show, but failed and violated a Florida statute in the process. It says images released from the complaint show adults adults bringing children into the venue. There was also a sign at the entrance that advised attendees of potentially unsuitable content for those under the age of 18. according to the complaint. The investigation into the venue followed threats from the governor's office to enact penalties at the plaza, which is located on Bumbly Avenue, if the venue allowed minors to see, quote, a drag queen Christmas, which is a show that featured holiday musical numbers and drag entertainers of all genders. The complaint also alleges that the show included simulated sex acts. In a statement, Governor Ron DeSantis's press secretary, whose name is Brian Griffin, says that the venue, quote, violated Florida statutes and therefore, quote, the department is revoking the venue's license for the sale and consumption of alcohol beverages. Bagheera's out here tap dancing. I'm going to wrap this up. I want us to be very concerned about this, everybody. Why is the state targeting this group of people? Why is the state seriously does not want a specific group of people to exist? They do not want the children to enjoy the rights of other children to be free and play sports. They do not want drag performers performing for kids. It's a lot of faux moralism here, right? And it's big time this heteronormative Christian demand, this imposition on the rest of us to fall in line with this. The further you are outside of that white hetero Christian whatever standard, I think the more likely your existence is to be criminalized. We see that with Black people. we see that with the LGBTQ folks. Like the further you are away from white straightness and Christianity, the more in danger you are. And this danger is being ratcheted up when the power of the state is being enacted and used against specific groups of people. That group of people is in danger, and truly all marginalized people are in danger if we don't fucking get our shit together and stand with the trans community and stand with the LGBTQ plus community. If we have our internalized homophobia and transphobia, we need to dead that shit right away. And let me tell you something. Gay and trans people, you want to stand with them and fight alongside them and have them fight with you. Do you know why you want to have gay and trans people fight alongside you? Because they can fight. because the gays and the trans folks can fight like shit. And you want them on your team. You want to be in community with them. You want them to be in community with you. We need to be doing more outreach, more coalition building, and doing whatever we can to stand with our trans brothers and sisters right now, and for the people who are parents of trans children, because these people are under attack. They are literally under attack right now. And this needs to be a bigger deal for all of us, for all other marginalized communities. We need to be freaking out about this way more than we are. Way more than we are. This is really bad. All right, guys, but in the interim, I have held Will hostage long enough. so I apologize for the long show. Thank you all so much for staying with me tonight. Oh, who else do we have here? Oh, we got some new people. Regardless, hey, Franny French. Franny's not new. Franny's been with us for a long time. Peace, Gamondis. What's up, Dave and BJ? Imani. Who is that? Max? Franny. Did I say Franny French? Of course I said Franny French. Damien, curl your ass to bed. Damien, you up high as shit watching Black American YouTube. You need to curl your ass to bed. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate all of the support. Let me give you guys the ways that you can support us materially, because I would be remiss if I didn't say it. I appreciate the free support. Hello, Tasia, my baby girl. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the free support like shit. Y'all know I do. But Will's gonna fight me if I don't tell y'all about the Cash App. So Cash App, $ BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or you can support us on an ongoing basis by becoming a member of the channel via YouTube, or you can sign up to support us at patreon.com/BIDWKB. Thank you so much to Patrick S. for your Cash App contribution. Miss Tasia, of course, Latif as always, Court as always, Brendan W. Thank you so much for all of the support. Charlie, is that Sweary Furry? Hey, Sweary Furry, I like to see you in here. Thank you so much for being in here. Peace Observer, thank you so much to being in here. All right, y'all. I'm Rosalba, my baby girl. Thank you so much for being here. Alice is love you. Stren, is that Stren? Yes. What's up, Stren? Stren, love you. Shoti. love you, Shoti. You know I love you. Love you for a long time. The Hearts, Peace, Anna, and Mama Lorraine. Again, the Around the Fire Disability Support Chat is happening this Monday, February 13th, 5 p.m. You can get the information directly from Anna if you would like to participate. Carpe Diem, thank you so much for all you do. Gina, thank you so much for being here. Valley Girls, as always. Tyler, my son, of course. All right, guys, that's it. Oh, somebody ran us some bucks before I start talking shit. Nope, nobody ran us some bucks, but that's cool. Listen, guys, y'all have a great weekend. Be sure to subscribe to the other channels that I participate with as well. Black Power Media. Subscribe to Status Quo as well. Renee. Love you guys to pieces. Kev Z 24/7. Love y'all. On behalf of Molly and Will, y'all have a great weekend. Please remember, as y'all go into the Super Bowl super spreader events, that the fucking COVID is out here jumping on people. So be thinking about that before y'all go up and get all comfy at the Super Bowl party and shit at the Super Bowl spreader event. Wear your fucking mask, okay? Wear your mask. Don't be out here playing games. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. COVID is still out here jumping on people, and I'm picking the Eagles to win. Sorry, Kansas City. I love y'all to death too, but Philly. Let's go, Philly. Let's do it. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one, man. See y'all later. Bye.